Todd Blackadder. Come on down. Congratulations, mate. That's awesome.
Yep. Thank you very much, mate. Just so happy. It's been a fantastic season.
And obviously a very tense, intense final.
It was. It had everything. It was like the first 25 minutes, I think, we didn't even have the ball. And when we did, we gave it away. And then we showed the moments of brilliance that we've showed all season. And we took our opportunities when we were given them, and played some fantastic rugby. And then at the end, Robbie's team, the Wild Knights, came back and put us under huge pressure. And then it just came down to, like a TMO making a call in those final moments. And it had everything from we've got this to we've just lost this. So it was a whole array of emotions flying around, but just so pleased for the boys. The boys just absolutely gutsed it out, and they've put in a huge shift all season.
Geez, did your mind flash back to 10 years ago, 2014, when a referee's call decided that final?
Oh, I've had moments of my life flashing before my eyes in that game, I tell you. I think that's all part of it, though, isn't it? It's all part of your journey and the learnings and, rugby. And it's actually really I just feel lighter now that our team finally won. And, to win a final was just fantastic for everyone. But personally, for myself, it was just so good to put some sort of like some things to bed for me, and finally good to get one, Marty, on a personal level. It was really nice.
I bet. Look, and for anyone who thinks that doesn't play a huge part in it, of course it plays a huge part in it. Does it, though? Does it bury the ghosts of 211 and 214?
Yeah, it does. And for me, it does. It was, you can never go back in time. And now that, a long way down the track from where I was then, you could always wish that you could do things differently, but you can't. And that's just part of life, and it's part of the journey. And I'm just pleased that, I've managed to get a team to the finals. And I think as a coach, that's all you can do. And, the boys really take over from there. So it was really good. But, we've put a lot of work into, the last 5 years at Toshiba to earn the right to be in a final. I mean, when we took over 5 years ago, we were really a struggling team at the bottom, and there's been some good coaches, some really good players along the way that have helped shape us to get us to where we are to this point. And then this season, bringing in Shannon and Richie coming into the team with Michael Leach taking over as captain has just taken us to another level where, we can win those big moments. And that started throughout the season. We won some big games throughout the season that just built the confidence. And last year, our whole last season, we hadn't beaten a top four side. So it's been a great transformation and a great journey.
So those two players, especially the two All Blacks, Mwanga and Shannon Frizell, they've made that much difference.
They have. I think what they've brought in is just the simplicity and the belief. I mean, we'd been working on the foundation, but when you get to, with always this word world class, but I think what Richie is, he's just a world class driver. I mean, no one's been to more finals than him. He knows how to win those big moments, and what he does is he just creates belief. He's got a fantastic way of not only being a great player, but just gluing things together that just makes sense for everyone else to follow. And then Shannon's just come in, and he's just, as you know, through his big, powerful performances, he just shifts bodies. So he's been great from a physical point of view. And then, with Michael Leach, as you know, he's a great player, but he's kept the composure of the team together under some big moments this year.
That was a team that was unbeaten that you beat.
Yeah, we knew that. They're definitely by a mile. I mean, I haven't beaten them in 5 years. That's just how good they are. And that Robbie Deans' teams, they prepare well, and they're competitive, and they're just so efficient. But we couldn't worry about that. We just had to try and be the best team on the day, and we were. So we knew that we were probably the team that could threaten them the most. I mean, our attack has been unbelievable, and the things that we'd worked on really hard so far this season was our defence, and our defence stood up. So it just meant that if we had 4 opportunities, I knew if we nailed them, if we could execute them, we'd put them under massive pressure, and we did.
And I tell you, it's not a bad roll call of coaches that are up there as well. I mean, there's a guy called Steve Hansen as well. And so, you're sitting there top of the heap at the moment, mate. It's not a bad position to be in, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's Japan. It's really competitive. I mean, if you watch the final, you'd see that. But if you're coaching over here and you see the games week in and week out, if you look at the expertise and the coaching teams in Japan and with the quality of the players, I mean, this place is only going to get better and better. And you can tell by the way that the standards are getting, I mean, the games this year are just getting tighter and tighter. And it's just, it's because of the environments. And if you saw the final, there's 57,000 people there. So the game's well supported. So it's definitely on the up.
Todd Blackadder with us. Are you a better coach now than you were 10 years ago? And how, well, obviously you are, because everyone improves at everything. And I know the amount of work and the amount of time, the amount of thought that you give into it. And we can hear that in your voice as well. So, I mean, perhaps the better question is, how are you better?
Oh, it's a good question. I think you just learn. I mean, you learn to be better, to manage situations better, I think. And you probably become clearer on what your DNA is. You sort of like, yourself better, and you play more to your strengths, I think, because you're more confident and you understand the game better. I think these things happen over time, and the way that you do, I think you learn is that you've got to go through quite a bit as a coach, not just winning, but also losing, and all the things that happen behind the scenes when you're running teams of 50, 60 people, that there's always challenges along the way. But I think also too, like having a real clear vision for yourself and the type of game that you want to play and the vision that you have for your team, and making sure that everyone's heading in that direction can be quite a challenge. And I think it's a real challenge as a young coach. I think, mistakes along the way are often learnt, and you've got to be able to learn them. I think those things are really important because it builds context and experience, and it just makes you better going forward. But that's not to say that you don't have your doubts, Marty. I tell you that. You go through the bloody ringer at times, and I suppose that's what moulds you, really.
Well, and also just, it's so fickle. I mean, these are moments, and in the end, Joubert turns around after 2014 and says, I made a mistake. Well, that mistake cost a title to the Crusaders. It probably cost you your job in the end. And then in the end, it comes down to a TMO moment in the 80th minute. I mean, as much as you want everything in your control, and you can try and control everything, I mean, that's what the game does to you, though, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. And when we're watching the game, like, we could see the forward pass, and then that if it goes back to more than three phases, they discard it. And I have to say, like, my life was flashing in front of my eyes again. It's like, oh no, here we go.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
Yeah, and then it is what it is. Like, I had it in my mind that, hey, if they don't go back, it is what it is. Like, we had our opportunities, and that's just part of the journey again. But just so pleased that the right decision was made. But yeah, it is. It's touch and go, and you always know that in finals. Because I've sort of been there before, I sort of hoped, prepared our boys really well, and geez, after that, it's just a white-knuckled ride.
Todd Blackadder is with us, and the Toshiba Brave Lupus are the Japanese champions. Could Richie Mwanga and Shannon Frizell step straight back into the All Blacks after what you have seen, the way that they're playing, the standard that they're at right now?